Torah, Daf Lamed Aleph, summary. So we're going to begin the beginning of Parshas Miketz, end of Daf Lamed. The pasuk says, "ויהי שנתיים ימים," that at the end of 2 years, Pari had a dream. And this comes right after the end of Parshas Vayeshev, where it talks about how the butler, when he finally got out of prison, he forgot about Yosef and how Yosef helped him. So what does this mean spiritually? So we have a spiritual butler and a spiritual Pari in a holy way. What do we mean? That a person has 4 elements that each represent different parts of the personality: fire, water, air, and earth. And we're going to specifically zoom in and focus on fire versus water. Fire is passionate. Fire always goes up. On the other hand, water is cool, and water flows downward. So the brain is like water, in the sense that the brain, it's objective, it's cold and calm like water, and it links things together, and it goes downwards. It just tells us what to do. Whereas the heart is passionate, and that's like fire, and it wants to go up and wants to get out of inappropriate place, and where it doesn't feel fulfilled, where it doesn't feel its place. Now, the butler was the minister of liquid, Sarah Mashkim, literally. So here's the water minister, and therefore spiritually his idea is to take the fire and passion of the heart and cool it down with the water, so it's not overpowering, and that we're able to link this passion not just into escapism, but instead to passionate mayim going down, like the water that goes down to impact on the world and do what Hashem wants within this world. Now, what did he see in his dream? He saw that there was a vine, and he was squeezing it before Pari. So the idea is that the Jewish people as a whole, Knesset Yisrael, the Jewish collective, are called the vine. Each soul is one grape. Inside each grape, there is wine, which is the Ahava, the love we all have to Hashem. But it's concealed, and sometimes we need to press the grapes, squash the grapes, crush the grapes, and then the wine comes out. So the person has love of Hashem inside him, but it's concealed, and through bittul, that's how it comes out. This is similar to the idea of a bris, with the removing the arla and the covering and even the thinner membrane, and that allows the wine, the deep love of Hashem, to come out. And there's 2 levels of wine. There's the yain hamsameach, wine which makes us happy, and that's for someone who's stayed spiritually whole, who hasn't had any spiritual scars, and therefore he can more easily access his hidden love for Hashem. Then you have yain hamshaker, wine of drunkenness, and this is for someone who has reason to be sad in a way, that he has left spiritual scars, and therefore he doesn't have just this pure joy with no sort of tinge, with no dark edges. He does have the dark edges, but at the same time, his wine is one which wants to get out, which wants to rise above, which wants to change. When someone's drunk, they can become a whole new person, and that's what he wants to do, to become a totally new person, to become different and have different interests, different things that excites him. Now, this is the idea of the Nahar Dinur, the river, which we spoke about also in Torah, Parshas Vayeshev, that is between each spiritual world. And it is, it's like we said, an aspect of gevura, of severity. And what it does is, it says, in order to elevate to the next world, you have to forget your current perspective and forget about the way you think and your interests as they are now. Because even if they're good and holy, when you elevate to the next spiritual state, then what is right now good becomes too low, too mundane, and too materialistic for the next level. And therefore, that's what the person wants to do with the yain hamishaka, with the wine of drunkenness. In others, he wants to say, I want to change over and have different passions, different excitement, so that I'm able to say, Baruch Atah, I'm able to address Hashem directly. Now, there's a pasuk which Kosi shows Esa. We say in Havdalah, We want to lift up the cup of salvation and and like in the dream, lift up. The butler is going to lift up the cup before Pari, because the cup can only be lifted. It can only be given to Pari without it spilling through bittul, through humility and self-nullification. That then the receptacle stays. The keli is also connected to bittul. When a person is spiritually involved, is davening and learning Torah and doing mitzvahs, but it's all about feeling spiritually fulfilled and uplifted. So ultimately, it is self-centered, and therefore it's not going to last. Whereas when a person is serving Hashem in order to give Hashem nachas, then that will last. And that's the idea of the butler, that because he forgot about Yosef, which means to add, that his mitzvahs were not about adding pleasure to Hashem, they were self-serving to help himself spiritually. So therefore, he forgot about that, and then 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 immediately afterwards, there's the continuation is negative, that all his spiritual highs ends, and Pari Chalom, that all his feelings of closeness to Hashem were all a dream. Why? Because it was self-centered. And then he's got the 7 cows, which represent the 7 emotional attributes, the 7 midas, and all of them, they may start off feeling fat, but then they just get swallowed, and there's no remnant. That after davening, there's nothing left, because it was all about himself feeling high, not about serving Hashem, not about letting Hashem rest in this world. That's the first Maimon. Then the next page, the next Maimon on the second side of Lamed Aleph, continues that Hashem, the Jewish people in Torah, all have their internal part and their external part. The external part is what is revealed. The internal always stays within. Now, para is the idea of revelation. What is revealed? Only the external layers. In order to reveal the inner layers, we have to peel off the cover. And like we said, that there's the idea of the bris milah, which is taking off the covering, both the thicker covering and a thinner membrane, to just allow gilui, to allow revelation through. And when we do that, so then our nefesh v'hamis becomes aware that it's a continuation, like we've said, of the merkava, the animals in the merkava. But in order to do this, it takes bittul. And like it says in the beginning of Yecheskel, that he saw chashmal. Chashmal is made up of 2 words, the first of which is chash, to be quiet. The second one, mal, has different meanings, including milah, actually. And so chash is this sense of quiet, humility, and that bittul allows him to connect with the revelation of Hashem. Now, the word pari can also be read, if you flip around the letters, as ha'af, or dust. That when you like dust, that's when you can have gilui. That's when you can have a revelation. And a person can use this when he's going through any type of hardship or challenge. You can think that really Hashem loves me, and really even one mitzvah is enough to have a full, wonderful reward. So why am I having problems? So this is an opportunity, that the difficulty is an opportunity for humility, and therefore being able to connect Hashem in a deeper way. Now we quote the pasuk about Dovid calling the Torah his song, and so we ask, why is the Torah called his song, and why was he punished? The Gemara says Dovid was punished for calling the Torah a song. What was wrong with that? Then we go on to explain that there's a whole long row of evolution of levels spiritually, from level to level, so that it coming all the way down. And the point is so that there should be this ladder, so to speak, between us and Hashem, that it shouldn't be totally unknowable, but there's some sort of way of connecting. Because really Torah is niflo secha, like the pasuk says. It's Hashem's wonders. It's something that's really beyond us. But through all these many levels, with each level slightly less intense godliness than the previous one, so then we are able to connect Hashem's light, although Hashem himself, as the creator, is totally beyond us. And this is all in order to allow us to say Elokai, my God, and to feel that Hashem is with us. And that's the benefit of all these tzimtzumim, these contractions and concealment. To be continued tomorrow.